You've seen them own the red carpet. But what if their names were on draft boards instead? We're breaking down 9 Hollywood faces who had real pro sports paths on the table, then said no to chase the camera. Was it a million-dollar mistake or the smartest gamble of their lives? Stay for the fork-in-the-road moments, the backlash they caught from coaches and family, and how those pressure cooker decisions turned into blockbusters, awards, and iconic roles. What if the guy from your favorite rom-com was in an NFL huddle instead of a table read? Like a real A-lister who had his name on a draft card and still walked away. Apparently that happened more than you think, and sources say it wasn't a vibe thing, it was a spreadsheet thing. One lane comes with guaranteed checks, a jersey, a depth chart, and a schedule down to the minute. The other lane is auditions where no one knows your name, emails that get ignored, and rent due on a Tuesday when you booked nothing. Friends call the first path stable and the second one delusional, but the math and the mindset push in different directions. According to people around these choices, the pressure doesn't start in the pros. It starts when a coach sits your family down and says, "You're a lock." Fans were hyped on rankings, uncles are wearing the school hoodie, and a scout leaves a card after a high school game. Then the calls keep coming through college, and the pitch sounds so safe. Take the offer, sign the paper, you'll be on a team bus by fall. Meanwhile, the acting side looks like odd jobs, tiny roles, and a reel you edit on a borrowed laptop. There's a classic late-round baseball story that keeps resurfacing. Drafted after most of the room emptied out, invited to spring training, handed a modest signing bonus, and told to grind in rookie ball. He shows up to the complex, takes a few reps, then drops out and books an acting class that meets the same week. Rumors suggest friends called it rash, but he kept saying there was a ceiling on his bat and no ceiling if he learned to perform. The league offered a ladder. He wanted a blank page. Money talk always cuts through the noise. According to general chatter around contracts, rookie guarantees swing a lot by draft round. Early picks get real security. Late picks fight for every dollar and can be cut fast. On the acting side, the median earnings in the first years are all over the place. Some make almost nothing while they build credits, and a few catch a commercial that pays rent for months. Fans were quick to do the math in forums, arguing a late MLB bonus plus minor league pay can still beat year one in Hollywood, unless you catch lightning with a network job. Another thread follows a football recruit with legit letters from Power 5 programs. Family loved the helmets and the campus tours. Then he moved to LA. Apparently it got tense at home. A parent pushed for the scholarship, a coach warned the window closes fast, and he left anyway to share a studio with 2 other actors and a futon. According to friends, he told people he could always train, but he couldn't always reset his gut. Injury risk kept coming up in these talks too. NFL careers are short, NHL bodies take a beating, and a single bad hit can change the outlook. Agents whispered about longevity, about flipping the grind from a 4-year average to a 40-year craft, and how taking care of your body for stunts is different from taking hits for a living. And here's the tease. One of our 9 almost laced up next to a current NFL headliner you watch every Sunday. We'll get there. For now, a mini payoff. Actor-turned-star Scott Eastwood was actually drafted by a pro team, late enough that the money leaned thin and framed the choice as betting on himself. He kept saying the role he needed didn't exist yet. He'd go make it. The heat after that decision got loud, and the what-ifs, the million-dollar mistake, takes, and the receipts come next. He was this close to sharing a locker room with a Sunday headliner, the kind of name that anchors highlight reels every week, and the timeline flips fast when you map it out. Draft card in his hand, minicamp on the calendar, the quarterback everyone talks about already penciled in as the face of the franchise. Then he pulls the pin. No flight, no check-in, and the alternate timeline becomes a rumor we keep revisiting every time he pops up on a billboard. The calls after that were not chill. Coaches were tight, because they'd cleared a spot and sold the room on his upside. Friends called it reckless, not because they hated acting, but because the safety net looked thin. Agents and managers gave the same caution in different words. No guaranteed roster spot in Hollywood. No per diem. No union health plan until you book enough days. You don't get a locker. You get a waiting room. Apparently, the family chat wasn't pretty either, with a couple voices saying, "Take the short money now and reassess later." Fans were loud online. You don't walk away from a draft, right? The media angle leaned into that. He skipped what people view as a sure path for roles you can't even post on Instagram, because they pay in copy, credit, meals. Early gigs were background days, a one-line co-star where his name rolled by too fast to pause, a short film that hit 2 festivals and vanished. Meanwhile, the sports side kept piling proof. Every preseason clip looked like money on the table. Then came the worst optics. He passed on a mini-camp invite to shoot a network pilot with a buzzy title and a stacked producer's list. It wrapped, everyone high-fived. Then the phone call landed, not picked up, no air date. That's when the critics pounced. He'd burned a bridge for a show that didn't exist in the real world. Rent due, momentum gone, and the football timeline ticking away without him. Timing matters, and the development curves are messy. Actors can take years to land a role that pays steady, long stretches of classes, self-tapes, and gigs that barely move the needle. Baseball prospects grind through levels for seasons before a call-up, and even then they bounce between the big club and the bus rides. The odds on both sides are brutal. A roster spot isn't a lifetime appointment, and a recurring role can vanish after a rewrite. People debate it like it's math, but it feels more like weather. Another one from the group had skates in the mix. Drafted by a hockey club, he carried the rink habits straight onto a set. Early alarm, edge work, controlled contact. He trained for stunts like it was practice day, learned fight beats the way he'd run drills, and started delivering clean takes without doubles. The brand he built came from discipline. He wasn't waiting on a team to call him up. He built a highlight reel out of choreography and consistency. A former teammate swears he would have stuck in the league. Says the frame, the speed, the study habits, all of it translated. An acting coach counters with a different stat line, reps under pressure. You learn to reset after a bad take, like shaking off a turnover. That stamina isn't hype. It shows up when a director asks for take 12 at 2 in the morning. Then the wins stacked. First meaningful supporting role. First weekend where the box office tracker flashed his name. First award shortlist that made publicists smile. Each one felt like a contract year. The checks got cleaner, the offers got real, and the narrative shifted from walked away to walked toward. And yes, the near teammate would have dressed next to that NFL superstar you follow every week. Instead, he locked in a marquee role that paid out above what his rookie deal likely offered, including the bump from back-end bonuses. The gamble reads different when the receipts show up. And now it's your call. Bad bet tossed away, or the smartest call on the board before the next name on our list steps up. The real play here was control. Not sports versus acting, but choosing who writes the next chapter. A depth chart tells you where you rank today. A script lets you decide who you are tomorrow. That's why these calls felt risky and, apparently, why they stuck. Drop the name of the one who, according to you, made the boldest call, and tell us who you draft back into a roster spot right now. Quarterback, closer, winger, you pick the role. Want part 2 with actors who tried pro sports first and then switched? Comment your picks, and we'll line up the next list.